really got to me was on the one that we had ourselves and Ken yesterday. Was it yesterday? And
We had a meeting, yes.
yeah, and it's just amazing how when even though you're on business owner sort of thing, but you're actually you it's quite beneficial when you get to work together with your business partners, and it's not just about you making money, but then it benefits everyone when everyone actually makes um work together and actually makes money sort of thing. So it's good to help your team member as well. So I think that's what the big thing about this thing. It's not like you're fighting to make yourself rich, but then it benefits everyone, that if everyone else actually achieve really good results as well.
Yes, yes. That's wonderful. So now you can already see the power of it, yeah, like that it can be beneficial. And what I'd like to applaud Teresa is that, she's only seen this once, and she invited her sister over there, Mary. Mary, if you want to unmute yourself, you're actually in the virtual background of the
space.
Just like me, I'm actually in Melbourne here, like, Melbourne City. I love virtual backgrounds. And so Mary has not even seen this business plan yet. She has, however, invited 3 guests tonight, and that is really the true entrepreneurial spirit. So Mary, can you tell us why you did that?
Oh, because I just want to bring my friends so that they can learn more about how business works in real life. Yeah. Because we don't have that much experience here. And then you guys are from overseas, so maybe you guys have better views about business.
Right. Well, yes and no. You know what? Because a lot of our really successful business owners are from Malaysia. You can ask Auntie Ann, right? Auntie Ann? Auntie Ann is from Malaysia originally. She's in Sydney, but a lot of very successful, one of our really good friends that is not in this team, but also a business buddy is, Sabrina Chai. She's got many, many really successful business partners in Miri. And I'm actually coaching them weight loss right now. And so, it's really wonderful to be able to, work from Malaysia, because there are a lot of successful business partners too. So Mary, you are in this for a treat, to listen to Ken and understand more. So are you actually an entrepreneur yourself? Or do you work in the business world, or what do you do?
Not really. I just help some of my friends, like supporting their business. So I just promote their products.
Oh,
that's
right.
what I do.
Okay.
I just help promote their products. Not really.
You're helping with the product, yes, yes. So you're looking for a business, yeah, an online business that you can work in. So this will be actually a no-brainer for you once you watch, tonight's presentation. And of course, just to evaluate it, there's no decisions that need to be made straight away. But if you can really see it, then we can, as I've shared with Teresa, go for a trial run. Yeah, okay, so we can see how we go. Wonderful. And so can you introduce your friends to us, Mary? We've got Amelia, we've got Beatrix and Juliana, right?
Oh no, I only bring 2 friends here.
2 friends? Beatrix?
Yeah. Beatrice and Amelia.
And Amelia. Oh, Beatrix and Amelia. Welcome, welcome, ladies. So both of you are also from Miri, yeah? From, Sarawak.
Oh, all of us are from Kuching here.
Oh, from Kuching, Kuching. But also, so that's also, but is that also part of Sarawak? Am I mistaken? Yeah. Different parts there. Okay, cool. And so Juliana, who?
Cleo was the one that linked me here.
Oh, Cleo, I'm sorry, Cleo. Oh, I'm mistaken. Welcome, Juliana. Thank you, Cleo, for inviting Juliana to this presentation. Welcome, also from KL, right? Wonderful. Well, our speaker tonight, Ken, and his wife Joy are originally from KL as well. So welcome. You're driving, so drive carefully. So who else is here? Tom. Can you Ken introduce us to Tom, please?
Oh, as I was saying before, Tom, we our kids go to the same class, really. Same school. And we originally met when I got Isaac into a football sort of club, I guess, program. Yes. And Tom's son was there. Unlike my son, his son was actually quite interested to be there.
Oh, right.
And
So you're both fathers of the son in the school, and you met as like
that's
house
it.
husbands.
We're soccer dads.
House husbands.
Yeah, and when Ken asked me to come, anything to do. Yeah.
Wow.
I had to bribe him, actually. Yeah.
Ken is an influencer, I can tell.
I
Right?
owe him
Anything
$100
Ken
now.
Like to know what's going on. I'm sure there's a lot to learn. And
So, Tom, what profession are you in?
I'm in IT.
You're in IT. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in IT, and yeah, just I know Ken is doing this business in I think I had last time I visited him and his family. We talked about the product that he's involved in. And I'm pretty interested. So
yeah, fantastic. So are you actually living around that same area in Bayswater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty close to each other.
Yes, yes. Wonderful. You know, I live in Caroline Springs, and I remember first time that I, went to Ken's house, it was more than an hour and 15 minutes. But now we can just be hopping on Zoom, and we can just be connecting with each other. Yeah. So this Zoom thing is pretty good. Who else? Jay, do you want to introduce Jay to us, Ken?
Jay, Jay's, she's my friend. We're also fellow Southeast Asians as well, and we work in the same company. So Jay's in Arab. She's in a different team. So she's in project/program management.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember we used to go out for lunch quite a lot. All the Asian crew in Arab.
All right.
Which has split a bit since.
Yes. So how are you finding your job in Arab, Jay? Because I know that Ken really loves it over there.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, they're really good people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember interviewing Ken about, the
especially
wellness
Ken.
Especially Ken.
Especially Ken.
He owes me $100 too.
I owe you too now.
Joy is keeping track.
Send him an invoice there. Yeah, we all making Ken look good tonight, but he's really a wonderful guy. So who else is here?
Got my friend Chong.
Chong, yep, welcome.
He's a bit shy. Look at him.
Oh wow,
hey guys.
Is this Santorini background?
Am I actually muted? No, I'm not.
You are not muted now, John. Is that
how's
Santorini?
Everyone? Hey Ken. Hey Kitty.
Hi.
Hello, John. Can you tell us a bit about your background? Is that Santorini?
No, it's actually it's Amalfi Coast in Positano in Italy.
In Italy?
My wife and I actually went there many years ago. It's a good spot. So I put it up on my background. It's a bit of an inspiration.
I know, right? Because I've been collecting and just looking all around, all the virtual backgrounds of Zoom and just go through different parts. But I always love this one at night. This is Melbourne, where we are, behind me. But anyway, so Chom, what do you do?
I'm a project manager. Ken and I actually go way back in the Arab days with Jay as well. So we know each other.
Fantastic.
The original Arab crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of it, Ken will share with us about, the 2 to 3 year plan. One of the things we always ask people, if you've got all the time and money in the world, what would you do? And one of the things a lot of people would say is to travel. And where you are, the background, in Italy would be one of the things that I think, a lot of us want to go as our to-go list. Yeah. And so Uncle Tak Sing is from Singapore. And what do you do, Uncle Tak Sing? Can you unmute yourself? Yep.
Yeah, okay, am I unmuted? Yes, hi everybody. I fly a plane. I'm a pilot with Singapore Airlines.
Pilot. Oh wow, okay.
Yes, and
so
uncle of
Uncle. So you're a pilot. So do you fly to Melbourne, Australia as well, or just around Singapore?
Yeah, we have services to Melbourne. I fly the Airbus 350. So we go to Melbourne, but I think mostly Brisbane and Sydney are the more common.
All right. Yeah. And so now with the pandemic, do you you lock down?
For the last 3 months, I've been just flying once a month just to get our license current. We, as a pilot, we have to fly at least once a month.
Yes.
To be recent. So yes, we do fly we converted our passenger plane to become cargo plane. So we fly to that city and back. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's good. Yeah. So yeah, I've been introduced to this by my sister Ming Chao. So he asked me to just say Fong is Kenny is speaking today, so I just want to listen to him.
Uncle and auntie here, because first time I went to Ken's place, they happened to just come to visit Ken. Are they here? Ken, your mom and dad?
They were supposed to be. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, I don't think they've logged in yet. Would
No.
love to say hi to them. Maybe if you want to.
My dad tends to be late for stuff anyway, so
Yeah. But uncle is here to represent your family, so that's the main thing, right?
It's all good. Should we kickstart?
Auntie are already partners over there in KL.
Exactly.
So wonderful. Okay, let's get started soon. But before we start, can I maybe just have, Angie, to share a little bit, what has this business done for you since you started? If you don't mind, Angie?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Kevin and myself, we're also from Singapore before, but now we are proud Australians. I mean, we're Australian citizens. Well, obviously, I still miss Singapore, all the food, all that, and my family's still there. Kevin and myself, we're engineer by profession, but when we came to Sydney, we decided to start a business in graphic design, web development, and very busy, but we're doing okay. So when Enloc introduced the business to us, I didn't tell her, but in my mind it was like, oh, I don't have time for all this, But then I was very open-minded. We went for presentation and everything. And then Kevin, I told him about it. Then he said, oh, he did have a look at the plan. Long story short, we came into the business mainly because of the products. And my purpose was actually just to use the product because I thought I don't have the time. But I was looking back, I'm very glad that we also built the business, because now that we have sold the business for about 10 years, time freedom is so important to us.
Yes.
So we are at another stage of our life where we have grandchildren. So the beauty of this business is the time freedom. It allows us to go to where we want to go. I mean, obviously now it's COVID-19, but the last few years we managed to travel to back to Singapore to see my family, to Malaysia, and then we have a son that is stationed in Beijing.
Yeah.
So we go there to visit him and the grandchildren as well. So I know that, like Kitty said, this business may or may not be for you, but my recommendation would be have an open mind, evaluate, and last but not least, the advice would be to build it before you need the business. It's a part-time business. You can still do what you want to do and build this part-time, and the additional income is just, if you don't need the money, you always can give it to charity, or just like Anne will say, it's a legacy for the next generation. Yeah, so maybe Anne can share with us.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and so maybe we'll just get started as we go then. Later on, we'll ask, Auntie Anne and perhaps Judy to share with us as well. But I just want to welcome again, Metz as well, who is Dana's guest, to come on board to watch. So I just like to formally, again, welcome every single one of you, and particularly our special guest speaker tonight, who is Ken Fong. In fact, majority of you were invited by him, and he is in fact one of very, very close friends of mine that I've actually been friends with him online for a long time before we actually met in person. And since he's become part of this team, I've learned a lot from him, and he's a wonderful wellness consultant in his work, as well as an engineer, like a lot of us here in this group is. So without further ado, Ken, I'd love to get you to share your screen and share with us, please. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, before I share my screen, hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's a bit late for some of you. Here in Melbourne, it's 9:30. And I will try absolute best to finish by 10 o'clock. I really value your time here. And like Angie was saying, let's keep an open mind, right? Like we're here, we learn, you're going to get something from this, even if it's just like some lessons, you know, a few tips here. I think you'll find it quite interesting. I think to start off, let me just introduce myself. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. So I've got to be careful what I say now. So yeah, I even put my suit on because I wanted to impress my parents. Hi, Mom. Actually, my fashion consultant, Joy, said that shirt you're wearing is terrible. Go change your clothes. So I did. And here I am. So firstly, let me just introduce myself. At Arab, as you know, Kitty's introduced me. I've been in Arab for 11 years. I actually quite love what I do there. My role has changed a bit over the 11 years. When I started, funny enough, I started in the project management team. So the team that Jay is in now. I was there for about a year. I managed a $2 billion sort of, stimulus project, was sort of part of the finance administration team there. And then I pivoted over to acoustics. That was actually why I was hired. So acoustics is noise, vibration consultant. So currently I lead the station acoustics team in Melbourne Metro. Some of you may know about that. That's the largest public transport project we've had ever in Melbourne. But I'm also, like he was saying, I'm also a wellness consultant. So that's the other hat I wear at Arab. I sort of lead the wellness consulting efforts in Arab. And what I do there is I advise organizations, teams, companies, developers on how they can introduce wellness concepts into their buildings, their projects, the organizations, and the communities. So we're working on a few fairly big projects now. There's a big skyscraper that's going to be the home of Deloitte in about a few months. Here in Melbourne, there's a large master plan for a community regeneration project. So that's all, my Arab life. I think what's most important for today is that I'm actually an UnFranchise owner. And so I'm a owner in this business. I'll tell you a little bit of background about myself, and then promise I'll jump straight into the slides and make it worth your while. I guess my journey in entrepreneurship really started with my parents and my dad in particular. So I remember when I was much younger, he handed me this book. It's a book by a gentleman called Robert G. Allen. And I think it was actually the first ever finance book I read. This is before the Kiyosaki's and before the Think and Grow Riches and all that. I actually got this book. And the name of the book is called Multiple Streams of Income. And it talked about how, when you think about it, there's like 100 ways we spend our money, right? There's like, you spend it on rent, you spend it on groceries, you spend it on food. As you walk around stores, you drip money everywhere. So the way he puts it is like, you have a bucket and there's tons of holes underneath there, right? So that's how we lose money. But how do we gain money, right? And typically it's only one way, like it's your income, your job, or some of us business owners, you might have a business and that's how you get income poured in. So you're one stream in, but so many streams out. And so the whole concept of the book was to say, how do you diversify your income sources? How do you actually get more money, right? So if you lose money so many ways, how do you gain money more ways? And actually that's the first time ever. I remember when I was in high school, I heard about this thing called residual income. And we're going to talk about residual income as part of this business. So being an entrepreneur, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to find this residual income. I have tried everything. And my poor wife has gone through all the journey with me. You name it. I've done internet marketing, I've done blog marketing, I have done I've tried to do import export, I have done share trading, I've done commodities trading, Forex. I have, what else have I done, Joy? Let me see, all kinds. And then I remember, like, across my life, as many of us do, we sort of join these multi-level marketing type companies. And, I'm a really hard worker. Right, some of you work with me, you can attest to that, right? Just ask my colleagues and my friends and family. But can we all agree that sometimes it's not the person, it's the system that you work in? So I was very willing, but somehow the system just wasn't working for me, right? And I think people who work less hard than me in those systems would have given up much sooner. But I find it hard to give up on stuff. So anyway, I did eventually. I failed. And the last foray into one of these was a multi-level company. I got burned pretty bad. And Kitty will tell you, when I first heard about this UnFranchise business plan from her, I was so far skeptical. I was, you know, I was part of the debate team. Some of you know me. You know that I like to argue. I like to find holes in your argument, and I like to shoot them down. Right? I'm quite logical that way. Sometimes too sharp, I think, in that sense. So I was super skeptical. And when she introduced me, she said, "Hey, look, it's just an evaluation. What do you have to lose? It's just some time, you know. After about 45 minutes, you're done. You've not lost anything." So I thought, yeah, that's reasonable. And I had a look. And I remember actually I had to look at it a couple of times, because when I first saw this, all kinds of emotions: confused, excited, fearful, very skeptical, and I'd see it over and over again. But eventually the light bulb turned on for me in this. And so hopefully for some of you, that might be that moment, you know, when I go through this business presentation. And for some of you, you may think it's not for you. That's okay. This is part one of a two-part presentation, and we do that deliberately. Like I said, I really value your time. So when you come into this one, if there's something that intrigues you, fantastic. If you think it's not for you, or you can't see, you know, being part of this, that's okay as well. You know, like I said, thank you for your time. But I just wanna say, as you listen to this presentation, there's just three things I want you to do, right? And you can do this in the background. You don't have to tell me. The first thing is just think about what you like about this presentation, because we're going to go through a few things. So just number one, just think about what you like. Secondly, just think about the questions you have. What's confusing, what you need more information about. I guarantee you will have questions. And the third thing is, you know, just like Mary, for example, just think about who else, you know, rather than being selfish about it, just think about who else might be interested in this. And perhaps, you know, you may not be interested, but someone else might be interested in this system. So that's all I ask from this, right? You can keep your credit cards. There's no bank details, no bank account. Don't worry, we're not selling anything. I am not selling anything. You know, don't worry about it. It's just pure information, right? But keep an open mind, like Angie was saying. Okay, having said all that, I'll jump straight into the presentation right now. So I'll share my screen. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Everyone see that, yeah? So give me a nod. Yeah, cool. So today we're talking about the UnFranchise business. It's a very unusual name. It's actually a made-up name, right? But I'll explain why we call it the UnFranchise business. So the parent company to this is Market Australia, and it's actually sort of a local subsidiary of the parent company, Market America. That's where it started. And Shop.com, which is the online website that powers this whole business. So I'll skip through the video. Now, I just want to introduce a few things about the company. In 2020, it was voted by Newsweek. You know, some of you may even be subscribers of Newsweek. It was voted one of the best online shops in 2020. Whoops, sorry. It's my dad. Lucky last. So, sorry about that. Just got a bit distracted. So it was in 1,000 online shops, and we know there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of online shops, right? These things grow so quickly, right? Across 8 industries and 39 categories, this was one of the top online shops, Shop.com, in the world, right? And in terms of the category of the universal provider, it was ranked number 11. So that's a category that has some huge names in it, right? Target, Sears, if you're in America, you know that's massive. Amazon, we know that. Walmart, absolute monsters in the industry. And despite being in the same category there, it was ranked 11. So that sort of gives you a little bit of a hint about the credibility of this company. And we'll start, you know, going through it a bit more as well. You'll learn a bit more about the company. there's so much industry recognition as well. And certainly Shop.com and Market America, one of the pioneers in the power of sort of online shopping. They may not be the first, but they're certainly one of the few that actually allowed online shopping to be accessible not just to the masses, but also power, you know, entrepreneurship and give people a way of actually earning income by shopping. And I'll explain that a little bit more to you. So you can see some of the accolades that it has here. It might be a bit fuzzy, apologies for that. But some of these are the awards that the company has won, right, on the global stage, really just to boost its credibility even more. And right here in this slide, you'll see some of the actual, oh, there's a few more coming in, sorry. There's a few more accolades it's got. So let's pick a few out. We'll talk about the Newsweek magazine 2020 best online shops. In, you know, it was 96 in Internet Retailer Asia. That's a 500. That's a really prestigious sort of award, right? And then also the Internet Retailer sort of top 1,000 awards, right? This was number 65. I mean, if you can score top 1,000, that's a big deal already. To score top 100 is absolutely massive. And then the list goes on and on, right? Fast 50 was an award that was given to the company because of its sustained growth, but also because of its trajectory of growth as well. And it's not the first time, it's not the second time. The company has won this same award 14 times, right? So this is industry recognition at the highest level. And this is one of the reasons actually that sort of shifted me from my skepticism a bit, right? Because it's not just my evaluation of it. This is third party, the public's evaluation of such a company. One of the key recognition it's got is the Better Business Bureau. So think of it as an accreditation for company performance. So think of it almost like an ISO accreditation system for companies, right? It rates companies across the world in terms of a few key criteria. Number one is the trust it has in industry. Number two is integrity in doing business. Number three is sustained market performance. And Market America, you know, Market Australia, Shop.com has an A+ rating. That is the absolute highest rating a business can get. Not only that, there's this thing called the Torch Award. And the Torch Award is the elite of the elite, the absolute number one best in a particular category. So you have to not only get an A+ rating to even qualify for this award, you have to be top of the pile. Market America is one of these rare companies. It's like a unicorn, right? That has won it not just once, but twice. I mean, we've got some prestigious companies around the world that have maybe won it once, Apple, for example, but not twice. So it's won it in 2013 and which years was it, Kitty? 2013. Oh, sorry, I'm mute.
2013 and 2018, Ken.
That's it. Yep, that's it. 2013 and 2018. See, that's why I have Kitty here. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So what is it? Okay, I'm glad you asked the question. So Market Australia Shop.com is really a system for entrepreneurs to create an ongoing income, right? And become financially independent. And the means and the vehicle to do this is by providing consumers a better way to shop. So we're going to talk about the key pillars of the organization in a few slides. And it really combines two great pillars in our society today. Number one is the power of technology, right? Not just technology in general, but revolutionary cutting edge technology. And we're talking about, you know, online sort of merchant-based website, right? Well designed. But the second power it combines is the power of people. So in this business, we say it's twofold. It's high tech and high touch. High tech because of its technology, high touch because you have people like myself, Kitty, you know, Angie, Auntie Anne, for example, who are in the business, who are absolutely 100% there to support you. And the key thing and the most important thing is that it's actually powered by people. So that would be the most fundamentals of part of this business. And actually that's what attracted me to it. To be honest, when I got attracted to the business, yes, the business system was fantastic. I saw that but it was really the people, it was the connection with people like Kitty, right? So we share the same mind in terms of wellness and well-being and health coaching and helping others to improve their health. And no matter which sector of society or what your interests are, in this business, you have people who have like a similar sort of mindset to you as well. Okay, so I want to touch on these 4 trends that's really shaping our world at the moment. And Market America, Market Australia is perfectly poised to take advantage of all 4 trends altogether. And we see this, we saw this before, you know, our recent events. We see it even more starkly now. And the first is the collapse of traditional brick and mortar businesses. So just today, I remember in a news briefing, it looks like Australia is going to lose another 210,000 jobs. You know, in fact, many of these are not just employment, but actually jobs linked to small businesses, which are traditionally brick and mortar. So we knew this was happening, right? I knew, like when Dick Smith, for example, shut down, I just thought that was impossible. How can such a shop like Dick Smith shut down its traditional business model, right? It is basically an icon of Australia, but it has, and it shifted online. So that's one trend. The second is the rise in online shopping and online sales, right? And we see that now. I mean, I bought some stuff that I would never buy if it's not for this like pandemic, to be honest. I bought myself a sit-stand desk. I bought my first freshly ground coffee online. I never buy coffee online, but I did this time. And then not only that, there's just like dozens of other products that I shop, which I would never have bought otherwise. And once you buy and you realize how easy and convenient it is, you just don't go back, right? And I'm sure that's the same experience with all of us. The third thing is also, on a wide scale, mass marketing being replaced by one-to-one marketing. So what do I mean by that? Gone are the days when you're sitting by the TV, you flick your channel, you watch a show, and it hits an ad break. And what do you do in an ad break? You just change the channel, right? Because you can't be bothered. There's like 15 other channels out there to watch. That's mass marketing. That's untargeted marketing, right? Where a message goes out, you have no idea who's listening to it or what reach it is. That's being replaced by one-to-one marketing, right? And so that's things like referral systems. So, you know, a lot of food cashback sites, for example, they depend on referral systems. You refer a friend, you get $20 credit, I get 20 credit, you know, we all benefit together. Or one-to-one marketing is like, hey, you go to a nice restaurant, you love it, you love your friends, you want your friends to enjoy the same restaurant. That's basically, all of us have engaged in one-to-one marketing at so many points in our life. That's the third trend. And the fourth trend is also really important, right? And I see that already in so many of the people here today. It's the rise in entrepreneurship. It seems like everyone has a side hustle now. It's like when you ask someone, hey, what do you do? Sometimes it takes like 2 minutes to explain what they do. It's like, oh, I work at this job, but I also at night I do this. And then here I have this interest. I'm trying to create a business there. That's just common. And I think that's because there's a realization where traditional employment just doesn't work the same anymore, right? And also there's less stability than ever before, right? Because of technology, because of all these changes around us. So these four trends together set up like a perfect storm for Market America, for us to take advantage of, through something like marketamerica.shop.com. So this term UnFranchise is very strange, right? Like, why do we use this term? Okay, it's a made-up term, like I said, but it brings the best of a franchise-based system, and it gets rid of the really bad things of a franchise system. Okay, so a franchise system, the best thing about it is that it's systemized, standardized, and uniform, right? So there'll be a headquarter, corporate, they create the systems, and all this is about duplication. So you don't have to spend hours, days, weeks to create a system. It's essentially business ready to go from day one, right? You have proven management system, right? Many of these have years of experience, years of proven track record. It has professional marketing tools. Think of the biggest brands in food. Some I won't even consider really food, but McDonald's, let's just say, or KFC, right? Like, the marketing is not done by the individual franchise owners. A lot of it is just done by headquarters, and it's powered through each of these stores. It's got standardized training system, which is important. When you have the same system duplicatable, you need a really robust, strong training system so people can get it and people understand it and can implement it, right? What else? Market-driven products and services. Right? Think of Jim's Mowing, Jim's Fencing. Think of McDonald's, right? Think of Chemist Warehouse. Some of these businesses we don't even think are franchises are all franchises, right? And the reason is because they take advantage of billion-dollar of industries. And then finally, branding and increased visibility. I mean, how long can you drive before you see a McDonald's? I don't know, 2 minutes maybe. Certainly in my area, I actually live just directly across McDonald's, which is unfortunate, right? So those are the amazing things about a franchise business. But unlike a franchise business, right, there are some key differences, and there are bad things about a franchise as well. For example, if you don't have something like $100,000, I'm talking about a cheap franchise here, right? Like a McDonald's will cost you $1.something million in Australia just to start at zero. That's literally the case, right? If you don't have $1 million+, you're not even at zero. Some are cheaper, $250,000. Question is, who has that money lying around? Many people take up a mortgage. And unfortunately, especially with the events recently, all of a sudden, that primary plan is suddenly looking very, very shaky, right? So you got debt on top of a business that's, probably can't survive traditionally. But because of that, you have risk, right? The greater your investment, the greater your risk. Is really, really simple. Because in any business, you've got to go at least break even first. You've got to know what your costs are. You've got to know what your starting capital is. And there are two real key points, right? One is the point at which I pay back all my starting capital, and the point at which I break even and I know, okay, everything beyond that is profit. So the more you put in, the higher your risk, right? Franchise systems tend to have territorial restrictions. So when you sign up for a McDonald's, for example, you can only operate in this area. Why? Because if you go beyond that, there's another McDonald's there, right? There's tax advantages for being an unfranchised owner here as well. It's a legitimate business. So some of these home expenses that you put in, for example, they're expendable. You can put them on expense, right? And it comes off your tax. There's no large monthly overheads in this business, right? I remember, my dad is here. I was helping him run a food business in Frankston, a few years ago. The rent is a 5-figure number every single month. Like, let's just put it this way, every month. So if you don't hit that, even if you make that up, you're back to like just about paying one part of cost, right? And then finally, there's no franchise fees or royalties. So for example, let's say you go bubble tea. For every cup you sell, you're paying the company back 70 cents. In this business, there's no such thing, right? Now, I just want to go through the company itself. It's founded in 1992. It's a global product brokerage, internet marketing company, and it specializes in one-to-one marketing. So think about it. This company has been around for 28 years. It's headquartered in North Carolina, Greensboro, and there are 850 staff that it hires globally. But people like Kitty, myself, are not staff. Like, we're essentially unfranchised owners, and that's a real key distinction. And there's thousands of us around. So it started in the US, I think then it expanded to Australia, and then you see this list of 8 countries. These are the countries where it operates. And interestingly enough, the largest markets are the Asian markets. You're talking the Singapores, the Malaysias, the Taiwans, and these are all, the US is still the biggest market. But the Asian countries are absolutely taking forward. So if you are in an Asian country, like Singapore and Taiwan, this thing is absolutely just exploding, and followed quite closely by Malaysia. So I've talked about the Torch Award as well. They won twice, 2013 and 2018. So I won't go through that again. Now, a big question that comes up, especially for the accountants, is like, so what's your sales, right? What's your sales? What's your profit? How much do you actually distribute to your people? Altogether, across all these years of operation, the company has made 15.5 billion. That's a billion with a B, right? And from that, it is extremely generous. More than half of that actually goes to franchise owners like Kitty and myself. And that's 2 parts, right? And if you come, say, part 2 of the presentation next Tuesday, you'll actually see how this works. There's the retail profit side, and there's the commissions side as well. So essentially, a way to think about it is when someone purchases a product through you, you get paid twice, once in retail and once in commissions, right, separately. So we'll go through a bit more of that detail in the second part of the presentation. And as thousands of franchise owners, you know, Kitty, myself, etc., we earn, you know, like anywhere from 300 to 3,600 per week, right? So this is per week on a weekly cycle, because that's the pay cycle through this company. On top of that, there are more than 500 owners, and we're very privileged to have one of them here, you know, in this call, Auntie Ann Loh, who have earned in excess of $1.4 million in commissions. So Auntie Ann is part of the $1 Million Club. She's, like Kitty was saying, one of the earliest, well, probably the first actually in Australia to do so. But that's a number that keeps growing. So literally, this company has made more millionaires than most companies we can all name. And that's even some huge brands, right? You can name. It has made more millionaires than most companies in existence. Okay, I'm going to refer to this thing called the 45-year plan, right? I'm going to contrast this with something else we call the 2 to 3 year plan. But let's talk about this 45-year plan. What is it? 45-year plan, because most people enter the workforce at the age of 20. So I was a bit late into the workforce. You know, I joined Arab when I was actually 24, right? Some of my colleagues, they joined when they were 19, for example. So I was a bit late to the party. But then you work about 45 years. And at the end of the 45 years, you know, whether it's an EPF or your superannuation here in Australia, right? You get your retirement fund, okay? But it takes 45 years to get there. And 95% of people we know, and this is just simple stats, we work 45 years, but the financial return goes to really the 5%. So who are the 5%? They're the sort of CEOs or CFOs, typically the business owners, right? Typically the entrepreneurs, they're the 5%, the financially fit. The rest of us, 95%, still working, you know, could be financially struggling or dead. And so essentially, we work hard, right? But we work for someone else's financial plan, not necessarily our own. And there's many reasons. I mean, look, to be honest, I mean, I work in Arab and I absolutely love what I do. I may never actually quit like what I do, because I just get the exposure to such high-level clients, high-level projects. I absolutely love it. It fuels me, right? It's in my area of passion, and I've managed to shift what I do at Arab quite significantly over the last 5 years. You know, especially in wellness consulting. But that may not be you, and that's okay, right? We're all in different situations. Many of us, we do a 45-year plan because we have to, and that's perfectly fine because we're responsible adults, right? There's many reasons for that, right? One could be to pay off debt. That's fine, right? Like some of us have student loans, credit cards, that's a form of debt, car loans or mortgage to pay off, or, you know, if you may have investment properties, for example, you've got mortgages on that, right? So that might be one reason why people work the 45-year plan, right? But certainly one thing all of us want, and I may be guessing at this, right? But I'd say 99% of people everywhere, at the back of their mind, they have this thing called financial security that they want, right? It's a goal, absolutely. And they may not say it, you may not articulate it, but certainly think it. And I don't know if some of you are thinking about that too, right? Let's put this in perspective a little bit. Let's say we set out a challenge to say, earn $1,000 a month where you don't even have to actively pursue that income, okay? In order to do that, you'd have to have $600,000 sitting in an account at 2% interest rate, right? Australia, we're basically at historically low interest rates, right? But we're still higher than some countries, right? Let's say 2% for fun. You need to have 600,000 at 2% to get $1,000 a month. Can I ask you a question? I mean, who has $600,000 sitting around just to sit in a bank account just to earn that interest, 1,000, right? Some of you may have. I'm not saying you don't. I don't, right? So that can't be my plan. And maybe that's not the plan for many of you as well. What about pensions, right? So, you know, we have family members that have hit the pension age, right? Or the superannuation withdrawal age. Let's pull out a stat. Right? And this is not my opinion. This is actually drawn from Department of Social Services. 77% of Australians, so that's more than 3/4, once they hit the age of 65 years of age, there's two things that happen. Number one, most of their income will come from superannuation. But the second thing is actually more important. The average income you get from superannuation is $1,600 per month, right? In some suburbs here in Australia, you can't even pay for a month's rent for that, right? And if you can, that's about it. That's all you have to live on. So that's the 45-year plan. Let's contrast it with the 2 to 3 year plan, right? I'm almost ready to take this for a landing already. We like to say this business is like water. What do I mean by that? So each of us have different goals. My goal is completely different from your goal, right? For me, look, one of my goals is to keep working in the industry I work in, but not have to work there just to support myself, right? Some of you want to spend more time with family. Some of you have mortgage payments that you want to completely wipe out. You know, others are saving up for a university fund for your kids, all right? Whatever it is, we may have different goals in our life. So maybe what I can get you to do as I keep presenting is financial success. Which of these sort of reasons, if you don't mind typing in the chat group, which of these reasons would inform your own financial success? Like, this is the why, right? We've got to chunk down. Money is just a tool. Why do you want that money anyway? Like, what is your definition of financial success, right? So if you don't mind just typing in the chat group, that'll be really interesting to hear, right? So in Market Australia, we talk about the 2 to 3 year plan versus the 45-year plan. And the key concept here I want to explain is residual income. And that's the thing I referred to in the book from Robert G. Allen, Multiple Streams of Income. Residual income is a really key concept. So residual income is income that you get without necessarily trading time for money. I work in consulting. It's very, very stark to me, this time for money exchange. At the end of the week, I've got to fill up 37.5 hours of timesheet, right? I literally know how much my hour is worth. In one sense, I have no ability, just within my current structure, to earn more than what my 37.5 hours is multiplied by my hourly wage, right? So I totally get it. And many of us, we may not have that same model, but it's the same concept. If you don't show up for work one day, that's fine. Maybe you have leave. You don't show up for a week. That's okay. You know, maybe you burn through your leave and things like that. Compassionate. You don't show up for a year. That's it. The income just disappears, right? You don't show up for a month. There's no income. So essentially, you're trading your commodity time that you can't get back for money, right? Residual income is different. Residual income, you create this machine, right? This system, this process that gets you income, even if you don't spend another hour processing it down the line, right? Okay, so I want to pivot now just to talk. Like I said, I'm going to take this for a landing real soon. Just key pillars of the company. Who are we, right? Number one, Market America is a product brokerage company. So it has hundreds and hundreds of exclusive products and services you can only find on this platform. But it does not have the burden of manufacturing. So it doesn't operate the manufacturing. It owns the IP of the products and the research behind it, but it gets other people to make it. It accesses the latest market-driven products. So currently, it's in so many industries. It's in healthcare, it's in personal care, it's in nutrition, weight loss, anti-aging, right? And each of these are multi-billion-dollar markets. And because it doesn't have manufacturing and because it is flexible that way, it gives the company room to move. So who knows, right? In 5 years' time, the biggest market might be baby products. In 10 years' time, it might be, you know, who knows, right? Like a specific type of medical sort of system, for example. But because Market America Shop.com is, Market Australia Shop.com is so flexible, it can actually respond to the market, shift the manufacturing focus, right? And then supply products to market in that area. So these are some of the industries that it operates in. And the key one at the bottom is coming soon, right? Like I said, it has flexibility to add a different product to its range at any time. It actually started only with one product in the health and nutrition sector, right? But now it has cosmetics, it's got internet services, websites, home and garden, personal care, all these. First pillar, product brokerage company. Second pillar, it's an internet marketing company. And this was what blew my mind. It's completely revolutionary, right? So it has hundreds of partner stores through the shop.com website. So think of it this way. Many of us do cashback type systems, right? You go online, you buy a service or something like that, and then you check your app, boom, you get cashback for what you've purchased. Same concept here in Market America, right? Like I said, you've got hundreds of stores. When you go through Market America, the shop.com website, you purchase literally the same product. So for example, in Kogan, I bought my sit-stand desk. I bought it from Kogan for exactly the same price as I would have if I'd gone to Kogan.com. I got exact same shipping detail, exact same online retail experience, but with one massive difference. I got cashback from that. So it's literally the same experience, but you can accumulate this cashback, right? And that goes to you straight into your pocket. There's no cost to register as a customer as well. The third pillar is also really, really important, and this is also revolutionary. It's called the shopping annuity. And this is a concept that says, look, you're already spending all this money every month, buying all kinds of things that you need to anyway, groceries, supplements. I buy so many, before Market America, I would spend hundreds of dollars in supplements, right? I'm just that kind of person. Personal care, right? Things you need for your house, for example, cleaning products. What if you could just funnel a portion of that into the system? Don't spend any more than you have to necessarily. Funnel it, but then get paid for it for exactly the same thing that you'd be purchasing anyway. And when not only that, when you purchase it, you get 100% credit of the points value from all those that flow up to you, right? It's a pretty incredible system, right? And this is the one thing that actually took me a few times to actually check back and forth, because at first I didn't get it. And I understand, right? There's a lot of information here I'm sharing today. But this was one of the three pillars that really caught my attention. So just to recap, there's a product brokerage, the internet marketing pillar, and the shopping annuity pillar. Okay, I've only got 2 slides, this and one more. So I've gone through the 45-year plan. And I've also, I talked about how you trade time for money, right? And that's okay. We understand that we come into industry that way as well. And that's fine, right? I'm still in, the 45-year plan as well. But there's a breakup. There's another option. And so many people never even hear about this option, right? But you're here today, right? There's the 2 to 3 year plan. And what it is something you can do alongside the 45-year plan, and maybe for some of you, you might want to drop the 45-year plan and go this way full time. That's great. Many in this call have done that. Some love their work so much, right? And they'll stick here and then do the 2 to 3 year plan concurrently. And that's like me, right? Like I'm probably going to be in Arab for a long time because I love what I do. But I see the power of the 2 to 3 year plan. What is it? It's an investment of time, a few hours a day, for example. You can do that at night, you can do that in between, periods. But over time, you accumulate it and you can earn anywhere from $300 to $600 per week. More importantly, you create a residual income, right? So it's like a curve that goes exponential. A few years down the line, right, you're going to look back and you're going to say, geez, I don't even know what it's like anymore to sort of trade time for money, right? Because you've created a system that pays you back. Whether or not you add any more additional hours, there might be a bit of effort up front, but down the line, it pays you back over and over. Like Auntie Ann says, you might feel like you get underpaid at the start, but then you get overpaid right at the middle and end of the process. So, at this point, I just want to see, in the chat group, feel free to just type in, what would you choose? Would you choose the 45-year plan, or would you choose the 2 to 3 year plan? And one thing I can say for sure, and this was a question that was posed to me. Someone asked me once, they said, look, why don't you just close your eyes, look forward, don't look at your situation now. We're all coming to this different situation. Look forward, look 2 years, look 5 years, look 10 years down the line, right? What would your and then you look back on your life. If you had the best, let's just say 2 years, if you had the best 2 years in your life financially, what would that actually look like? What would that feel like, right? What would you do with that time, or the kind of money or freedom you'd have? What is that to you, right? And then I think you look another way. That's one way to view it. 2 years, look back. The other way is look back 2 years, you've experienced this best life. Turn back and look around and say, imagine if you didn't make a different decision, right? Because our life is built on decisions, right? If you didn't do that, what would that new 2 year look like? Most likely for most of us, and certainly this is what caught my attention, I had to spend a lot of time thinking about it, it would be the same. And not only that, any little frustrations you may have, I don't know, some of you may have it, some of you may not have it, that frustration will grow. And if you felt any bit of frustration, you don't do something about it, it grows and grows down the line, right? That's just how it goes. So one thing I know for sure, if you don't try anything new, nothing actually changes, right? And I failed more than most people on this call. Many of you, for the first time you're hearing this story, you don't know, some of you don't even know me from a bar of soap. So I've been trying to be a bit transparent and open with you. I failed more than many people, experienced my own set of frustration, right? But one thing I do know, you don't try something new, you don't try something different, you're going to get literally the same results, same experience. So this is my last slide. And really, this, like I said, this may not be for everyone, right? But can I ask you to do a few things? The first thing is, if you absolutely think this is not for you, right? It's nothing in here that interests you whatsoever. You know everything and you're not intrigued by it. That's okay. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming. I don't take it lightly that you spend, like an hour plus with me. I really appreciate time. I know the value of your time. But if there is something in here that, you'd like to find out a bit more, like I said, it's just pure information, right? What have you got to lose? We're hosting a call next Tuesday. That's at 8 o'clock. And come and find out part 2. Essentially, we'll literally pick up from where I ended here. We go into the system itself. It's where the engineers absolutely fall in love with it, because they actually see the numbers and they can scrutinize it and they can poke holes in it as much as they want. But that's next Tuesday. And the reason we don't do it in one hit is otherwise it becomes too long a presentation. So look, many of you are my guests, but some of you go back to, I would recommend you just go back to the person who invited you to this call and get them to send you the details for that for next Tuesday. Definitely one thing that will happen is we'll just check in, give a call or something like that, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to say, hey, do you have any questions? We want to make ourselves available. And like I said as well, remember, like in this business, we're in this business for ourselves, but we're not doing this by ourselves, which is the reason why many of my amazing mentors are here. Kitty is here, Auntie Anne-Lok is here, Angie is here as well. It's just a demonstration. They could be doing 1,000 things here, but they're here, right, to support us. So in closing, I just wanted, and I know it's getting late, and this is going to be the last thing. Auntie Anne, do you mind sharing? I mean, you're one of the most successful people I know, right? Do you mind sharing your path and why you decided to choose the 2 to 3 year plan? Maybe a bit of your story, because many haven't heard of it before.
Yes, I would like. Hello, everyone. Actually, I introduce myself. Actually, I don't know whether I can say myself as entrepreneur. When I see Ken, I say really entrepreneur. because in my father, I can see my father is entrepreneur because he came from China when he's 13 years old. He built a really a big business for us, so that from young, I don't need to like I say, we always have people look after us and all these things. But one thing I can see from my father, although he built a very good business, but when he stopped building, the businesses nobody take, because my brother, doctor, accountant, and all these things. And we have 8 children in our house. And then my uncles passed away very young and had another 5. So my father really worked very hard to support them to go overseas and all these things. But so I can still remember that when he go to anywhere, it's always late and all these things. So I'm helping my father since I'm 18 years old to run his, he put in a lot of investment, just that you don't put your all egg in one basket. So he will invest in mini supermarket, invest in all that. So I've been working, turn over the business because it's lost, because you just invest, nobody will earn money for you. Make sure this work. That's why my father always say, yeah. So from there, I learned through all the experience about business. I own travel agency before. I bring it say cosmetic to Malaysia, because I'm also, I will write a proposal for my father. Oh, I want to do this, but my father also want me to write proposal why I think this is good and all these things. So cut the story short, after I meet my husband, he's a GP, and one thing he tell me, when you married me, no more business. I have to stay at home and look after the kid, because he can see that a lot of parents, when take the kid to see doctor, you ask them anything, they don't know, and I've been looking after somebody, he don't like this. So I said, okay, the only thing. So I'm also entrepreneur. Now I'm thinking, that time I don't know what is entrepreneur, see. So I will go and explore all these direct sales, like multi-level company. So the first one I go in is Amway, Then, but I'm quite blessed that time Singapore don't have Amway. So I can sell a lot of stock because they order tons of stock for me. So, but only I earn money. The people I bring in don't earn money. You see? So they need you to sell a lot, you see. That's why my husband said, hey, better don't tell people can earn money, you better stop. That's why I stop Amway, and then I go on Causeway, because they select me as a stockist. So I'm also quite a best stockist in Penang. After 3 years in KL, we go back to Penang. So from Penang, after Causeway, then I come to Australia, because the government want to cancel our PR. Actually, my husband prefer Australia, but I'm not. I don't like Australia. When my kids 1 year old, we went back. So I continue Causeway and all these things, other business, until 89, I come back here. And I keep on doing import, export, all sorts of business, bring in costume jewelry, and also until one day, and also I always say, we need a system to success. So I evaluate a lot of different multi-level company. Then I said, no. Until I start my own multi-level company in 1997. I think Angie should know. She also come in, just buy the product only. But I feel multi-level cannot work, is because they pay by level, pay by percentage. So I turn into import, export, and do different things until 2002. I feel God is very good for me. When the thing, my husband said want to retire when he's 55. So that time I already 52, 2002. So is that only about few years? So I keep on praying, God, but I can see my business, none of my children want to take over. I have to stay in the office, thinking of what product bringing in and all these things. But when they show me a book only, a book of the plan and a profile of success, I go home, I don't know computer, I ask my children, let me check market America. So I go in and read all the history of market America. That time they already 10 years. Already people are earning money. And when I heard the JL vision and all these things, I really attract by it. Straight away, I get it. Because I see the requirement, the higher requirement is 150 points, about $300. Until now, it's the same. You can earn 300, 400. Which type of investment can you get this type of money? Your maximum investment is, because straight away I can see, because I already invest in share. That is that time, and Commonwealth share or what, because I don't have money to invest in house, because I don't want to borrow money. But share, I no need to borrow. I have 2,000, I invest 2,000. That's my father teach me, is it? So this is how I see, when I see, 150 point is about $300 can earn 100,000 between 2 to 3 years. This also caught my eye. Then I start to study the plan because I like to study. It's true, ma. If you are the people who in business, is that 50, 100, 150? But the only thing is you want to change your mindset. Changing your buying habit is the first mindset you have to have. Everything I told my daughter must use my product. I tell my husband, everything at home one I change. Even that time we don't have shop.com. That is first thing you need to do. And then the rest is history, because I hit first BDC in about 2 years plus. So I retired when I'm 54. God is so mercy to us 1 year earlier. So I've been doing the work. I become my children's banker. I let my children have a chance to choose what they want. They're all chartered accountants. So they all quit their chartered accounting work. And I become their banker. That's what I want. I want them to have a time freedom. It's not working because of the money. It's working because they like. So now they just work part-time, 1 day, 2 day teaching and all these things. It's their passion. So you all are so young. That's why I'm passionate. Now I'm not working. I see you all just like my children. So young, because my elders already 40. So you all can be my children. So if you all can see it, just like I told my children, you all will become multi-millionaire. You all have all social media and all these things to guide. From that, even MA, you don't need to work full time. That's why I invest in Bruce Jewel. They get 11%. 11% every cup I sell in the city. But when you do business, always got different different opinion, different thing. So end up my daughter then, Mom, I'm very straight. Even I go 1 or 2 days because I want my daughter to learn another type of business. That's why I invest in, and just to help a young people. But in this business, even you have different opinion, different thing, but we still work together because everybody is individual. See? So you have to know, everybody take ownership and changing your buying habit and follow the system. The major thing is follow the system. You definitely be there. That I can just tell you, it's too good to be true, this investment, this business. No headache, no a lot stock, no overhead. So this is just I always share from my heart. I really enjoy this type of lifestyle for many years. If not this time we will be or in the somewhere Alaska or anywhere. Yeah. So I just think that just look at it and work as a team, you will be there. Just follow the system. The system is too simple that a lot of people don't believe. That's what I can tell you this thing only. Yeah.
Thank you, Auntie Anne. That was great. Yeah, appreciate it. And I always look to you as an inspiration. And, really enjoy our chats together.
Yeah,
okay, I'll hand it back.
Hold your hand, make sure, just do.
Yes, wonderful. All right, thank you so much, Auntie Anne, for sharing. And
lifestyle. We want a lifestyle, and we want time freedom.
Lifestyle is the key, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
And for those of us in Australia, it's sort of getting a little bit late. So thank you for staying put. And of course, we want every single one of you to come back next Tuesday for part 2, as Ken has invited us. And that is going to be sharing with you the exact engine of how the 2 to 3 year plan works, so that you can actually earn an ongoing residual income. Like Auntie Ann said, you know, in 2 years, if you actually work the system, it's likely that you can do that.
Yes.
So until next time, take care, everyone, and go back to the person who invited you today to get the link to get into next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Australia time, 6 p.m. Malaysia, Singapore time. And, you know, Ken will be going through the 2 to 3 year plan. All right, so take care, everyone. Good night. And I hope that you've all enjoyed tonight's presentation by Ken, which I certainly did. Engaging, wonderful, and so clear. But if you've got any more questions, of course, you can get back to Ken or anyone that invited you. All right, so take care and good night.
Take care. Good night.
See you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for coming.
Ken, for sharing.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Take care. Bye for now.